What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Minicast. Today we're going to be going over the Sea of Thieves Season 7 update, which is 2.6.0. Quite a bit was changed. We didn't get anything like world events or anything like that, but quite a lot was added, and some pretty needed stuff for the sloop, which we'll get into here in a little bit, which I know I'm excited for because me and Dayden play a lot of sloop, primarily. It's usually us two doing a duo, so we'll go ahead and we'll get into that later. First off, we're gonna kick it off with first thing is Captaincy. So you could finally own a ship. Players are able to buy a ship. I think Galleon is what, 500,000. The Brig is like 3 or something. 375, and then the sloop was 250. So once you buy it, you're able to do quite a bit with that. You can name your boat now, which is awesome. You can customize your ship a little bit more, so everything within the captain's quarters, so rug, the table, the chair, the chandelier, everything within the captain's quarters is fully customizable now. You can also add like trinkets and stuff like that. There's the captain's logbook to kind of show your crew's adventures on the seas as you would go. So like your distance sailed, how much loot you've gathered, all that kind of just stuff like that. We also have an expanded shipwright service, which is awesome. So battle scars on your ship now save along with cosmetics. You're able to save cosmetic sets to your boat. So if you get a boat that you like and you run the same set a lot, you can go ahead now and save that on your boat, and it'll keep that for every server that you play. It won't change. But that also means damage that you take. So as you're going and you repair it and you get those kind of holes and that beat up kind of boat on that, like your boat gets beat up on the outside, that stays server wide too. So the shipwright you can go and pay to get that fixed, or if you want to rock that, if you're a PvP crew and you want to show how much your boat's been through, you can keep it if you want. There's one that I am super excited to talk about quickly before we get into the new group of the Sovereigns, and I know Dayden's pretty excited about this because it saves a lot of time doing unnecessary amounts of farming. That's being able to just buy items to stock your boat now instead of buying crates and having to do crate stuff. I hated that. It made
it also really just like kind of didn't make sense. You buy a thing and you get a crate, and then you take the crate and put it on your boat, and then take the stuff out of the crate and put it in the container on your boat.
Yeah,
and it's just like so many extra steps when now it's just you buy the things and your boat has the things.
Plus, you could buy so much more. Like, instead of buying a fruit barrel and all you got were useless bananas.
Yes. We never bought fruit from the shipwright, but
it's pointless. It was like
being able to buy meat. Maybe I'll buy that because that seems like actually worth it.
Well, yeah, because the meats give you the over health, so you actually live longer. It's just like it's all around so much better to run. And being able to buy fire bombs and blunders and everything just direct to your ship, it means if you want to go PvP, you don't have to spend an hour and a half stocking your boat
to go from fortress to outpost to fortress to get mountains of supplies.
Yeah, now it's just you want it, buy what you need, and then get straight onto it. So that one's like a pretty awesome update. I'm surprised it took this long, honestly, to get it, but hey, I'm not going to complain. We got it, so I don't care that much. The other big thing, which is a little controversial, there's some kind of stuff going on with Twitter and Reddit about people kind of already complaining about these, and that's the addition of the Sovereigns. So basically the Sovereigns add... So basically, the way the Sovereigns work is they only deal with captains. So if your crew's there, they won't talk to them. The only person that can deal with the Sovereign is the captain themselves. If the captain of the boat goes, then they can get, different stuff. But people are mainly complaining more about the other part that they do, which is all loot that you give to them, because you can turn everything to them, will go to the respected person. So if you give a gold hoarder chest, it's going to go to gold hoarders and you'll get gold hoarder rep. If you give them a skull, you'll get Order of Souls rep. which a lot of people are complaining about because they feel like it now kind of negates the need for having the rest of them on the island. Why bother go to them anymore when you can just sell at the Sovereign? With that one,
especially because, well, and it's another thing that people are complaining about, because the Sovereign's area comes with, it's the best area to unload now because it has a raised area with a harpoon, so you can harpoon everything off your deck super easily, and then it has a lift down, so you can stack everything and easily transport it down from where the harpoon is. And so a lot of people seem to be complaining that they can no longer steal people's loot when they're already in the middle of selling it, and there's nothing that they can do to prevent them from stealing it, which
I don't understand. I don't get that complaint.
I think you should get to sell your loot if you get it to an island.
Yeah,
if you get it to the outpost, that you should get to sell it. I think that's just fair.
I think that my complaint with the Sovereigns more lies with I think the Sovereign should have just been a new rep system. I think it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's kind of stupid that I give all of the loot to them and then they just I get the rep for the people that I sell for. I guess it's kind of cool because it's a centralized selling point, so it's kind of a good negative for me, I guess, because it's cool and I'll take advantage of it, but it's kind of pointless too, because it's well, why do I have the rest of the groups then? They seem kind of lame, because now the only time you're ever going to go to those is when you're needing a voyage or something. But now you don't even need to go to them for the voyages, because they have the new quest types for the Sovereign that the captains can do, where you just get to kind of tailor make a thing that you want. So I want to do Athena loot. You'll just go do you can customize how long they are. So you could do a short little quick Athena run, or a super long one, or you could do it the same for all of the other factions. So it kind of just seems why do anything for the other groups when now this group seems to kind of just do everything that you would need? They have
pretty much. It kind of seems like there's no point other than for brand new people who don't have a boat yet.
Yeah, it's just run to them. Because, I don't know. It seems like I'm complaining about it, but it's I get it being there, but at the same time, it's kind of just I mean, I guess the only ones that you can't get the Reaper is Reapers and stuff. If you give, they won't give you Reaper's clothes, obviously.
They won't take stuff that you have to sell to Reapers or Hunter's Call.
But yeah, so
but
I mean,
everything else, but those things already weren't on an outpost, so
yeah, and I understand people's complaints. I get being kind of in some way angry. Well, what's the point of any of the other things now when they just take everything? They do everything. I don't have to do anything, and then they made it even easier because it's and they have a harpoon, so it's why bother? No one's ever going to sell to any of the other things. Why? Why would you? You would always...
No, because you're never going to unload like you used to, dropping stuff down onto a dock. Now it's always just going to be pulling up to the Sovereign spot, harpooning off the boat, loading it onto the lift, and selling to the Sovereign.
In my mind, too, it kind of hurts rowboats. At least in my mind, it kind of makes rowboats seem kind of less important now. Why bother, getting a rowboat to stack loot on when you could just throw everything up top and then just harpoon it from your boat?
Yeah.
It literally just kind of made the rowboats useless.
It's not they're not useless, but it removes half of the point of rowboats, because half of the point of rowboats is to get stuff onto your ship, and the other half is to get stuff off. And now you don't need that.
Yeah,
you don't
now
need
it's
that
just
second part.
Now it's just load it really quick.
They're just for loading,
and then call it a day. Yeah, and then a couple other things within this this category we'll pass on from the Sovereigns is hiding ship and captain names, but that's nothing any of you guys really worry about. That's more if you're just a streamer or like a content creator, those people that want to like hide who they are so they can do their stuff without it. So I guess from that, not much else. They added some...
and we can definitely be certain that it's not a system to stop people from seeing offensive names, because I'm already seeing on Reddit and stuff that the banning of names that might be considered bad or anything is massively oversensitive.
Oh, it always is. Always. They treat every word as like a bad word. It could be something that means almost nothing, but then they're like,
yeah,
oh,
like
but
I saw
this.
a guy who was complaining about how he couldn't name his ship the Rum and Gun, and so like one of those two things has to be a banned word.
My guess is probably
but
rum.
I don't get why. There's alcohol in the game that you can use.
Yep.
And there are many guns in the game that you shoot each other with. So like both of these words are in your game but are apparently banned from the naming list.
Yeah, my guess is I don't know if it's gun. I think it's more rum, because they don't have rum. It's grog.
It's grog.
So
yeah.
it's family friendly because it's called a grog. It's not anything back, but rum. Rum, that's alcohol. Can't do that one.
You can buy that one in a store, so that's how it's different. You can't buy grog because, well, I mean, you can make your own grog, but I promise you don't want to.
Oh yeah, no. Other than that's pretty much everything in the captaincy area. Anyway, there's a couple other things. I didn't go too far more into the like whole milestones for the ship. That's mainly just because they're disabled right now. I don't know when those will get turned on, so I don't really know fully how those work. They didn't explain it super great. I was kind of want to go in and look at them myself, but they're turned off, so I don't know if I could get info on that. So we'll go ahead and just we'll move on from that, and Dayton's going to go ahead and take us into the next section here.
Okay, which is the new season.
Yes, the season.
Okay, yeah. 7. So season 7 drops with this update. There's some new stuff. Obviously, many new cosmetics.
Which we have not seen. We'll preface that.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any of them yet.
We haven't seen many of them. Obviously, they showed some of them in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like the new cosmetics for Pirate Legend, Merrick's jacket, and cutlass. They showed those off. They look fine. They were already in the game. Merrick had them.
Yeah.
They look fine.
Now you just get to use them. Yeah.
Yeah. So. If you're Pirate Legend. I've never found any of the seasons to be like amazing or horrible.
I don't know. Season 6 cosmetics were bad. I didn't like any of the flower tree stuff. Like,
oh yeah, no, those ones were pretty bad.
And that was the whole focal point of season 6 was all of that. I think season 6 added a lot that people were happy about, and it changed a lot for the game and did stuff. But the cosmetics that we got, I mean, I'm sure some people like it. I don't. I think the cosmetics that season 6 offered were awful. They weren't worth at all to me. I don't know what season 7 has, obviously. I'm going to be checking those out pretty much as soon as we're done here. Actually, we're gonna load in and experience like the update and start, being a little hands on all the changes so we can, see for ourselves. Because obviously, a lot of what we're talking about is our thoughts on it can change. So there's not too much with that, but yes, I'm hoping season 7 steps it up a little bit. Because season 6 offered nothing good that I cared about at all. And I know at least with season 7 we're at least getting the Morningstar set back for Twitch drops. If you guys, missed that, they don't usually run them too often. They cycle. I don't know if they'll be running this one again just because they've already done it, I think, twice now. So this would be the third. They might run it again. but I'm assuming this is probably it. This might be like the last chance, but don't quote that. Obviously, I don't work for Rare. I don't handle Sea of Thieves at all, so that could be wrong. They could do this again next year or a year later as like a filler for, oh, all you new people, if you haven't got it, here you go. Here's the Morning Star stuff if you want it, which I mean I do. It does look pretty good. I like it. It looks nice. I'm hopeful that I can get it anyway. I know Twitch drops sometimes, at least for me, have been kind of finicky, where it takes a very long time to get them, or I'll watch a stream for like 3 hours and it won't count at all towards the Twitch drop, even though it says you only have to watch for 20 minutes. So
yeah, that's always the worst.
So it's like I don't know. Yeah, they're not really adding too much into this section, honestly. I mean, your standard.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a season. The seasons are always. I mean, they're not all the same, obviously, but they follow the same pattern.
Same pattern. It's 100 levels. You have your paid plunder pass that everyone uses. Pass.
You get cosmetics and
I'm a
bundles of currencies.
I'm a little bummed with the Emissary Leisure. I was kind of hoping that this one was going to be something to really want to grind and farm for, because the Emissary Ledger is like a lot of what I do now that I'm maxed and everything. I don't need rep, so it's like, for me, these are what I go for, because you have to like farm a high enough amount to not get them. But like, I don't know, these ones are kind of lacking. Like the Gold Hoarder one, I don't care about a drum or concertina, and that's what they're doing for all of them.
They're all a drum and concertina,
which is just like,
that I assume go together for one.
Tribute Peak is that's the ship set that I was running on Gold Hoarders last time. Was the green and yellow was the Tribute Peak, so this is them finishing the set.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That just, I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, like, they want to finish out the set and have a set of those cosmetics and not just like random. But like, yeah, I don't know. There are like certain things that I just like don't care about having like the best skin in the universe for, and my drum is definitely one of them.
Yeah, there's just like cosmetic stuff that I don't really care about. But I mean, other than that's very standard season 7 ads. We've had some gameplay improvements that have come out,
and some quote unquote gameplay improvements.
Yeah,
like this first one here, the stools are.
I don't even understand.
I do not understand at all. I didn't understand any of the sitting down stuff that they've added. It's like, pointless. You can't even sit on the side of your ship and do a fishing.
Like, I get wanting to have to be able to, for maybe like a screenshot or just to do it, but like the stools, it's literally, and in their own words, I'll read the text here, is if you want to be lazy and have your crew do all of the work. Because in their words, it literally says, these stools can be picked up and carried by players. Fancy a seat on the beach while your crew digs for treasure. Now you can bring your own. It's literally just basically saying, oh, if you want to be completely useless while the rest of your team does the job, here's some stools to sit there and be useless. And my thing with this is just like a big question mark, and followed by why. We had developers and used dev teams to dedicate having a pickupable and usable stool on a beach.
Yep.
And it's, I don't know. And honestly, to move from that one, because it's just like, it's dumb. This next one, it's hilarious. It's here because I've been saying this for a very long time, and I was actually complaining about this in call while we were playing before I knew this was in season 7, because I found out this.
And it was just a couple days ago.
It was while we were doing a mission. I could not find the chest at all, and I was literally complaining about how, if I'm holding a map, why can my guy not just look closer at it so I can see the map better? Because half the time the map is not to scale, and it's hard to see when your dude's holding it a full arm's length out, and you're like trying to squint at your computer monitor, or your TV to try to read this tiny map. So they finally added map zoom, which was something I thought should have been in the game a long time ago. It's kind of insane that it wasn't, to be honest. But one of the ones I am very, very excited for, and it's not one of them, it's a pretty big collection of things, is Sloop getting buffed. I'm a huge Sloop player. I love playing on the Sloop.
There's a swath of changes here that are designed to make the game just that tiny bit more favorable towards solo and Sloop players.
And not even just like favorable, it's just to kind of balance it, because like as it stands now, so here before I go, I'll read what the changes are to the Sloop. So now one of the big problems on Sloops is being changed with, they have reduced cannonball knockback on a Sloop. So for those of you who don't play the game, the Sloop is the smallest boat. It's a 2-man boat. It's very small. So if you get hit by a cannon and you're on the deck, most of the time the knockback is so hard you're off your boat. Yeah, and there's a lot of the times where you can't recoup from that because they keep hitting you and you don't get a mermaid in time. Or if your boat was kind of turning, it just keeps looping around you and you can just never get back on your boat again. And you basically just lost because they launched you off. So having a reduced cannonball knockback on Sloop is amazing and was like a necessity, because like I play a lot of Sloop and I've lost a lot of fights to that, where I just get launched off the boat mid-repair or something and I'm just gone and there's nothing I can do. There's just no way to get back. Another one which is next on here and is also massive is the mass damage rebalance. The Sloop was so hard because if you got chain shot, for those of you who play or don't, it takes one chain shot to knock a mast down. To put that in perspective, the Sloop only has one sail. One. The brig has 2 and the galleon has 3. So as the Sloop, if you got your mast hit instantly by a chain shot, you lost. The fight 9 times out of 10, unless you're...
Essentially, you have now lost.
Yeah, unless you're an unbelievable crew against, like, some pretty basic people, you just lose. There's no way to recoup from that. Mm-hmm. Because they just took your mast down, and then all they have to do is keep you off from getting that mast back up, which isn't hard because you're not moving anymore. But if you're a Sloop player and you knock a brig's sail down or a galleon, it hurts them a little bit, but they can still move. They can still get away and fix it and try to do stuff, but if a Sloop drops, it's done. You just lose. So the way they combat that is now the Sloop takes 2 shots on their mast. Everyone else still takes 1, the Sloop takes 2. So now that crew has to be good enough to hit your mast twice to drop it. So if you get hit, you can repair it, because you can repair it after it hits the first time. It'll crack, and then all you would have to do is you have enough time, unless they immediately hit you with another, is to get that mast repaired so you can go again. This is like the biggest gripe I've had for the longest time trying to play Sloop, is just like your mast drops and you kind of just lose. You lose all want to do anything, because it's like, well, what can I do? Now they're going to shoot someone over to board, so I'm going to have to combat that, while another guy or 2 other people, or the galleon, while the other 3 are still just hammering your boat. And there's just nothing around it. There's no way you can do anything. And people are going to say, well, look at X content creator, look at this streamer or whatever. They do it, and it's like, well, yeah, but they're also insanely good at the game and have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into it, and it's like, of course they're good and can handle that because they know. But it's like your normal casual crew who's just playing the game, or a new player who's finally just got a Sloop, they can't handle the PvP that.
If you're spawning in on your first Sloop, your first time solo, and your first experience of meeting another player is them one-shotting your mast and covering your deck in fireballs, then you're not going to have a good time, and you're going to quit.
And there's just nothing you can do. There's no way to combat that. You just kind of lose. So And then that kind of ties into like the other one. The next kind of big one is they also added some additional sloop respawn locations, because another big problem on sloops is if you've played this game long enough, you've memorized the spawns, and the sloop only had 2. So if people were camping your boat, as soon as you loaded in, you could die instantly because you're still loading in. That guy sees you loading, and then one blunders you in the back while you're trying to fight, and then you just lost. And there was just no chance. And then they just rinse and repeat that over and over and over again until your boat's gone. So at least now, having those additional sloop spawns, they have to kind of guess. There has to be this kind of guess game of, okay, where is he? Where is this guy going?
And obviously people will learn the spawns eventually, and it'll be easier for them to find you than on the other boats still, because just by virtue of the sloop being smaller. But it'll make it so that they can't just wait on one spot and dome you straight in the face as soon as you spawn in, but before you load in.
Plus, and if you are playing solo, they did reduce the ferry time for the solo, so that way, if you get killed by a galleon guy, you're not sitting in the ferry of the damned for an hour hoping and praying that your boat may still be there when you loaded back in. So they did increase that. And to further kind of balance PvP, but it's kind of one that I don't like, honestly. I'm not too happy with it. I mean, I get it from like a perspective from like having people camp on the boat or just like be toxic and spawn kill you, because I know there's a lot of casuals who have been complaining about this. But I don't understand it from like an actual perspective of like, so basically what I'm talking about is the removal of reviving teammates on enemy ships. So say, I'm on the boat and Dayton comes over and he dies. I used to be able to pick him up on an enemy boat and we can continue fighting and try to turn the tide. But like now it's, if he dies, that's it. I can't res him. There's nothing I can do. He just has to go to the ferry, wait, and then try to get back. And I get it. It's to stop people from swarming a person's boat and outspawning them. But at the same time, I don't get it from like an actual standpoint of like, what's stopping me from picking him up? He's right there in front of me. I should be able to.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense just like logically, but I don't know. I also just think it's fine because like obviously we've played since launch, so we played since before rezzing was a thing.
Yeah.
So like it's not that huge to.
I'm wondering how they do it. I'm wondering
rezzing slightly taken away from us in certain areas.
I wonder if they added it so like now it's like if you're on the enemy boat, it just instantly returns you to the ferry. Like if you're on an enemy, I wonder if it like knows that and it doesn't make you wait still for like your ghost to slowly float up. I'm wondering if now if you're on an enemy ship, it just like instantly kicks you to the ferry, because I think that's a huge nerf in a sense to PvPing, and kind of makes all of the rest kind of for nothing. If you're a solo, say you're like a duo and one guy dies on the enemy boat and they have to sit there for the like 10-second animation of your ghost slowly floating up before it'll let you. So I'm wondering if it'll still just keep the normal where like if you're on an enemy boat, they can't res you, but you still have the button and you can just hold it to instantly go. I don't know. I'll have to see how they do it. I'm not sure. Other than that, they had some Pirate Emporium ads. I'm not really going to go too much into that. It's just cash shop items.
One of probably the few interesting things are the addition of the ship crests and ship renaming deeds. The ship crests are the part of your ship where your ship's name goes. And obviously renaming deeds for people who want to rename their ship.
Yeah, if they end up not being happy.
I think it's fine to charge for that.
Yeah, if you've already named your boat.
I think it's okay to put that in the Pirate Emporium. It's a rename.
Yeah, it's like, WoW does that. If you choose your name, if you're not happy with it for however long you've had it and you want to change it, then you give them a little money and you can cycle that out.
Other than that, it's just a bunch of cosmetics that I think look terrible.
Yeah, some random more fish cosmetics because they've been really onto that. I don't know why. I don't think they look good. Not much else. Events, we got Twitch drops dropping from the 5th all the way till the 8th. Obviously, depending on when you're watching this, those might not be live anymore. So just to clarify that, those are only from 8/5/2022 to 8/8/2022. That's it. And then after that, they're done unless they rerun them again. So just to clarify on the date there, so that way, if you came on after and wanted to go check them out and see, you won't be able to get them anymore. Other than that, not much else. They added obviously some fixed issues to some stuff that was bugged. The only ones worth really talking about in here are server stabilities being improved. Sea of Thieves has been really bad with that since we've been back, where the game just crashes. It's never been like that before. I've never crashed in this game like that, but it'll crash for seemingly no reason. You'll be in the middle of a voyage or on a boat. You've been running fine the whole time, and then all of a sudden your game just closes. And that's been a recent problem. Well, I don't know how recent. Obviously, I've taken a break from the game, so I don't know how recent that is, or if they've just now been doing it. But it seems like pretty recent, at least for me. Other than that, not much else. They did some environment changes, some basic gameplay
They
stuff.
got rid of Silent Reaper. That's pretty much one of the only actual fixes,
which
concrete fixes that they've done.
Yeah, and that one,
fine.
Isn't much to talk about. I mean, a lot of people didn't even really know that was a thing. So many people just barely found out about it within the past couple days. So that one's
yeah, which is fine. It makes sense. You should not be able to do that.
Yeah,
exploit.
Being able to cheese rep for a thing it's not cool. That shouldn't have been a thing. So them getting rid of that is it. Other than that's it. That's everything for season 7. I think overall I'm pretty excited for this one. Being able to own a boat, I'm ready for. This has been something that a lot of people have been wanting for a very long time.
We've played since day one, and literally when we logged in on day one, and I saw the part of the boat that is
should
supposed
have
to have
a
the name on it.
Yeah.
I said that day, why can't we name our ship? There's this spot right here, this sign that looks like it should have a name on it. And they've finally done it.
Yeah. Other than that, it's a pretty standard Sea of Thieves season update. I mean, this is pretty much what you expect from every single update from them on season changes. I mean, the only huge shocker to me that I was surprised that they did, honestly, and was the only one I was like, wow, no way, that's super cool, is the sloop changes. That's something that I thought needed to be done. I didn't even know they were going to or what they were going to do with it. I just felt Sloop was, at the time. Obviously, some people disagree and think Sloop was really good, which obviously if two really, really good players who are insanely good at the game, of course they'll make Sloop look good. That's not really what the people should be comparing to. You should be comparing to the majority of people that are new or casual who aren't that good. I mean, people like that who can hit cannons from miles out and consistently nail and do all that, those aren't who you should be balancing your game around. Obviously, them making a sloop super good and sinking galleons is normal, but that's not normal for most crews. Usually when you go up against a galleon and a sloop, you usually do expect
you're at
to
a
lose.
Disadvantage.
You're fully prepared to lose. So this at least gives Sloop a fighting chance, and which is great. Other than that, everything else is pretty good. Not really much to complain about here, honestly. I mean, that might change. Maybe we'll do an updated video later of our thoughts on the season after we've actually went in and did some of it and
done the season.
Yeah,
that's fair. That is fair. But
and explain. But as on paper,
but just on paper, I don't see much that it is possible to complain about.
Yeah, there's nothing really wrong. Everything here is just a good change that a lot of people have been asking for and stuff that people have wanted, so they're just adding it. So that's nothing. The only, and especially map zoom, I'm super ready to go see and do, because That's like my biggest thing. I can usually find maps really easily, but some of the islands are very intricate and very big, and it's very hard to pinpoint.
And when you're looking at a map and you think that you're in the right place, but it's just the map is just too small, the X is just too big. It's infuriating.
Yeah, you end up wrong by like 10 feet.
Yeah, you kind of just have to like guess around, because on some of the bigger islands, the map, the X on the map is actually covering a pretty huge amount of area.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, we're gonna obviously we'll go experience and see what's up, and if there's anything worthy of talking about, we'll do another one. But I mean, I guess if you don't see a follow-up video on it, then take that as it's good, I guess. Or I guess we won't need to if you play the game and Twitter or Reddit beats us to that, because they're known for that. But other than that, pretty good change. I'm happy with it. Not much else to talk about. So thank you all for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoy the seas, or maybe we'll catch some of you out there sometime if you play. If not, all good. Other than that, I hope you guys take care, and if you enjoyed, hit that bell so you get notified when we upload. We have a pretty consistent schedule, and we've been holding to that pretty well. So other than that, not much else. I hope you all good. So long.